Hey guys, welcome to another video with the Financial Controller. In today's video, I want to be focusing on the 3 areas of accounting that you want to focus on and get good experience and good exposure to if your goal is to become a controller or even an assistant controller. So this video is for someone who maybe works in accounting today and has maybe 2 or 3 or a few years of experience in accounting or even maybe finance. And your goal in the future is to become in the controllership route. So you can, aim for an assistant controller or then a controller position after that. So these are the 3 areas that I really believe that if you master and get some good experience and good exposure to, so that means that you need to spend maybe, a year or 2 working in each of these areas and getting good rounded experience. These are the areas of accounting that are going to set you up to become an effective controller in the future. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Bill Hanna. I'm the Financial Controller. I'm a licensed CPA in the great state of New York. And I started out my career a decade and a half ago working at PricewaterhouseCoopers as an auditor, and then transitioned out and I worked in private accounting as a financial analyst, and then senior accountant, accounting manager, assistant controller, and then a controller, which is what I do today. I'm a controller at a software company in New York City. And the purpose of this channel is to give you the tips and the juice of advice from my decade and a half working in accounting so that you can apply it to your own life and career and supercharge your own career trajectory. All right, so jumping right in, the 3 areas of accounting that I want you to get good exposure to and experience in if you want to fulfill your dream in becoming a controller are going to be Procure-to-Pay or P2P, Order-to-Cash or O2C, and Record-to-Report or R2R. And these are the 3 areas, and we're going to talk about each one of these here in a minute and describe them. But these are the areas and the processes that then create the financial statements, which is the goal of a controller, is to create timely and accurate financial statements, right? So the goal of this video is we will describe each of these processes in a minute, but the goal is if you work in one of these areas today, so let's say you work in Procure-to-Pay or in accounts payable, and your goal is to become a controller down the line. So you want to fill in the gap on the bucket. So you're missing O2C, Order-to-Cash, and Record-to-Report. These are the 2 areas that you want to begin filling in the bucket by getting the experience and the exposure by asking your manager that you want to work in these areas. Or if that's not possible, then what you need to do is maybe find another job that will give you these experiences so that you can get more rounded and understand the full picture. All right, so let's begin by describing each of these processes or areas at a high level before we dive in and talk about each of these areas individually. So the first one is Procure-to-Pay, and as the name implies, this is the process by which the company spends money, right? So procure is the process by which the company goes out and procure services and goods from vendors, and then up to the minute where they pay that vendor. So this is the process of getting the service and paying the vendor. The second process is Order-to-Cash, and this is, as the name implies, the process by which you get orders from customers, and then you fulfill these orders, you issue an invoice to the customer, and then you collect the cash. So this is Order-to-Cash. And then the third process is R2R or Record-to-Report. And as the name also implies, this is the process of gathering all of the data and transactions that we just talked about in procurement and in invoicing, and gathering all of that together, record it in the ledger so that you can generate a set of financial statements. Therefore, as you see, this is the complete cycle in accounting, right? So this is purchasing and invoicing and making money on the other hand, and then tying it all together and gathering the data and recording it in ledger, and then generating financial statements, which is the end goal of a controller, is to generate accurate and timely financial statements. Okay, so let's talk about each of these processes here separately so that I want to give you the detail of each process so that you can identify and understand if you're working today in accounts payable, you want to know which other processes in accounts payable or in P2P that you need to get really good at before you can progress and learn the other areas in accounting. And if you're currently applying or interviewing for an accounting position, I highly recommend you check out my best-selling online course, The Night Before the Accounting Interview, where I share with you 49 questions and tips from my experience as an accounting hiring manager over the last decade and a half. Check it out. I'm going to leave a link down below. All right, now let's jump into each of these processes and areas of accounting so I can give you some more context and some more color into what you need to learn, because the objective of this video at the end is that what do you need to learn in each of these processes so you can master it and move on to the next, and then you can get more rounded and work your way up to a controller position. So when we talk about Procure-to-Pay, so when you work in a Procure-to-Pay department, often referred to as the accounts payable department, your role here is that you're collecting the vendor bills and invoices invoices and recording them timely and accurately on the books and records, right? So usually when you code these things into the books, an ERP system or QuickBooks, whatever the case is, you're coding the expense to either an expense general ledger account and choosing a department, the relevant department. Say the marketing team requested a spend and this invoice is from the vendor, and now you're recording it to the marketing expense general ledger account and to the department that relates to the marketing team, right? So the recording timely and accurately is important, and then also you need to process these vendor invoices and pay them on time, right? So usually the vendor gives you some time between 10 and 90 days to pay them. So you need to make sure that you are recording this invoice and processing the payment and getting the right approvals in order for you to make this payment to the vendor. And the other aspect to this too is matching. So when we say matching here, you are going to be matching three things. You're matching the purchase order. So usually when someone within your company wants to go out and buy a service or a good, they need to request their spend through a purchase order, right? So they create a purchase order. You then match that purchase order with the invoice that comes from the vendor and the item receipt. So three-way match between a purchase order, an item receipt. An item receipt usually is just evidence that the item or the service has been received, right? And then the vendor invoice, you need to match the quantity and the amount between these three things. And in some companies, if it's a service company, there is no item receipt, there is no physical good, it's just a service. So then you're matching the actual vendor invoice to the purchase order, and that's the matching that we're talking about here. So this is the best practice, is to create a matching process by which you match the purchase order to the vendor invoice. And if we're talking about a physical good, then we're talking about a three-way match, which is purchase order, invoice, and an item received. And this is the process of Procure-to-Pay in a nutshell, and it's usually managed within an ERP software. So a software like NetSuite or SAP can handle a process by which, if you are requesting a certain purchase within the company, you log in, you create a purchase order. Once it gets approved by the right person, then you take the purchase order number, you send it to the vendor, and the vendor will include that purchase order on the invoice when they send it back to accounts payable in your company. Then they can do a match between what's being requested and what's being billed by the vendor. And this is a way of controlling the spend. This is a way of managing the company's budget and the spend. So this is an overall of what is Procure-to-Pay. If you are now working in this area, then you want to focus on in the other two areas that we're going to be talking about next. All right, the next process or area in accounting we're talking about is order to cash or O2C. And this is the process by which the company makes money, right? So this is the process of receiving orders from customers, fulfilling these orders, and then issuing invoices and then collecting the cash from the customers after that, right? So typically the process begins by receiving a purchase order from the customer. So you get the PO that says, I'd like to buy 10 items from whatever you're selling, right? You take the purchase order and you record it in the system. You create a sales order out of it, right? The purpose of the sales order in the system is that it sets aside 10 items from whatever it is that you're selling, right? It sets aside that's going to be shipped to that customer, right? And then when the time comes and you ship that item to the customer, the 10 items, then you create an invoice, right? And then from that invoice, that's what you communicate back to the customer, and you say you owe me this much money, and then you collect the cash against it in the future. So this is in a nutshell what goes on in order to cash. This is the billing function of a company, and it's a really important one because revenue gets recorded out of billing function, and so this is a really important function in the company. So we talked about Procure-to-Pay, order to cash, and now we're going to talk about record to report. Now when we talk about record to report or R2R, this is the process that puts it all together. So when we talked about Procure-to-Pay, we talked about getting vendor bills. This is all the expenses for the company or inventory if you're dealing with physical goods. And then order to cash is the process of revenue generation, right? So you have here revenue and expenses. Record to report is the process of tying it all together and gathering all this data, collecting it and recording it in a general ledger from which you can create trial balance, and from a trial balance you can create a set of financial statements. Okay, so when we talk about record to report, this is a team that will be making sure that transactions are recorded timely and accurately on the books and records. So they look at P2P, they look at O2C, and they make sure that the vendor invoices are recorded timely. If a vendor invoice is not being recorded on time, then they have to record an accrual for it, right? So there's a team of accountants that work at a company typically and looks at each process and makes sure that the right adjustments or accruals are being made to the books and records. So with the vendor example, if you haven't gotten the vendor invoice and it's not recorded yet, you record an accrual, right? And similarly with order to cash, there are some adjustments that are going to be made to revenue based on the timing. For example, if you haven't shipped or if the terms with the customer only transfer the titles at a certain point in time, then sometimes some adjustments need to be made to revenue. And in many cases, you also receive some revenue in advance, which is a deferred revenue. And then you need to make some adjustments on your books of record as you ship out these items to the customer. And as you fulfill the service, you record the revenue piece by piece from that deferred revenue. So this is the team that looks at the transactions that are coming from all of the areas, which is Procure-to-Pay and order to cash and payroll and some other areas as well. And then make sure these transactions belong to the period and are accurate and timely, and then they make any adjustments that is needed, whether it's an accrual or an amortization of a prepaid. So let's say with a vendor invoice, you get a vendor from an invoice that covers 12 months in the future, so then you record that as a prepaid and you amortize it over 12 months. So this is the team that's going to be doing this kind of things, right? And then the second thing they'll be doing is the month-end close process, right? And if you haven't seen my video on month-end close process, I'll leave a link to it up here, which is coming up with a set of procedures and a checklist for all the things that need to happen at the end of the month for you to be able to close your books and records. And these mainly are going to be steps and procedures that are going to be done to make sure that all of the activity that's coming in from vendor bills, from invoicing, from payroll are correct and accurate. So they usually involve reviewing, for example, all the billing that's been done in the months and doing some analytical procedures to make sure that billing is correct and accurate. For vendor invoices, it's going to be also a process of checking, making sure that we have the right information and accruing for things that are not on the books and records, right? So this is the month-end close process. So once all the steps in the month-end close process is completed, then what this team will do is consolidation. And consolidation may refer to two things: either gathering the information or the data that is similar in one ledger so that you can report on it, or consolidation may also refer to if you have multiple entities, say you have 4 subsidiaries that you need to consolidate. This means combine the data and make sure you have a complete set of consolidated financial statements. Once you have that, then the final step is going to be reporting. Now, reporting means that you are now generating a set of financial statements, and usually that means that you generate the financial statements, balance sheet, income statement, and statement of cash flow, and do some comparative analysis, period over period, and maybe actual versus budget, to make sure that you have the right information before you can then distribute this information to the management or stakeholders that are interested to see the financial statements of the company. So I highly recommend that you go out and actively seek the knowledge and the experience working in these areas. Typically, the knowledge for these areas comes from practical experience, actual work experience, and not from an academic way of like taking an online course. This requires hands-on work experience in order for you to really get it and really grasp it, right? So if your company right now, there is an opportunity for you to work in an area outside of what you do today, this is the way to go. If not, unfortunately, sometimes you have to make a job move in order for you to get the right experience and become a more rounded professional if your end goal is to become a controller. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. If you like the video, then why not give it a big fat thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.